Welcome to your culture unit test. As you watch the video, you're going to have some questions you're going to click on. Remember, if you need to review something before you choose your answer, please click the rewind button. All right, let's go. Number one, people within a culture share A, language, customs, and heritage, or B, knowledge, attitude, and behaviors. Number two, if people share a common language, custom, and heritage, A, they are identified as a cultural group. B, they are identified as an ethnic group. An anthropologist would most likely examine which type of thematic map? A map showing different minerals found on the Earth's surface. B, a map showing different languages spoken around the world. If you want to zoom in for a context clue, that should help you out. Number four, what is one way to classify religions of the world? A, a belief in one God, many gods, or forces in nature. B, belief in standards and different behaviors. How did the innovation of domestication change cultures? A, humans changed from using primitive tools to technology. B, humans changed from trading resources to using money. So let's look at the picture that I provided for you. This is an ancient Egyptian and he's using a plow, which is a type of technology. Number six, a student in China goes to see a Beyonce concert and eats dinner at McDonald's afterwards. This is an example of A, domestication, or B, cultural diffusion. Remember, diffusion means to spread something out. Number seven, which of the following cause cultural diffusion? A, trade, immigration, invaders, and technology. B, industry, migration, bartering, and isolation. So we look at my visual. This is a picture of the Columbian Exchange, and they are trading items from the New World across the ocean to Europe, and then bringing back certain stuff to give to North America. Number eight, new ideas, inventions, and patterns in a culture are A, innovations, B, inventions. Number nine, why has the U.S. culture recently changed? A, advancements in medicine, B, more technology. Number 10, how has technology impacted cultural change today? A, cultural change happens more quickly than in the past. B, cultural change has stopped happening in this country. Number 11, when does forced cultural change happen? A, forced cultural change happens when two cultures trade often. B, forced cultural change happens when one culture invades another. Number 12, what is an example of an innovation in today's world? The innovation of using an app to edit photos, or B, the innovation of communicating by phone. Number 13, examine the image below. The image above. Which concept below is most closely related to the main ideas of the diagram? A, democracy, or B, cultural diffusion. So we go up and look at our illustration. We have four puzzle pieces: Greek civilization, Persian civilization, Indian civilization, and Egyptian civilization. And they all fit together to create something called Hellenistic civilization. So these are different types of culture. That should give you a hint. Number 14, the people of Mesopotamia believed that their world was controlled by gods and goddesses, demons and monsters. There were hundreds of gods who were responsible for everything in the world, from rivers and trees to making bread and pottery. Using the reading above, which word below describes Mesopotamian religion? A. Monotheistic. B. Polytheistic. Is globalization beneficial or detrimental? What is globalization? Mickey Mouse in France, American Idol in China, Nokia cell phones everywhere. What's going on? Globalization is making the world a smaller place. But what is globalization? The word globalization is a common one these days. The issues involved are complicated, but in general, globalization refers to the ways in which technology and trade are making the world a smaller, more interconnected place than it used to be, and to the economic and social changes that are occurring as a result. Less than 100 years ago, for example, a trip across the Atlantic took more than a week. Today, of course, the same trip takes only a few hours. Many people feel, however, that something has been lost in the change from the slow but grand ocean liners of 1910 to the cramped but convenient airline cabins of today. Elegance, perhaps, or the simple joy of travel. This kind of trade-off is one of the most noticeable features of globalization. Advances such as the internet and the airplane have created enormous opportunities, particularly in the areas of trade and public health, but there are serious dangers as well. While people have been trading goods and ideas internationally for thousands of years, the importance of business has never been greater. In the past, people tended to produce what they needed at home and to trade internationally for only luxuries such as silk, spices, and precious metals. Travel was too expensive and slow to allow long-distance trade in food and other daily needs. Today's refrigerated trucks and cargo planes have changed that. As it becomes faster, easier, and cheaper to ship goods around the world, manufacturers are free to build their factories anywhere. Usually they do so where the cost of labor and materials are lowest. Many companies have recently moved from countries such as China, which now produces an enormous variety of high-quality products, including nearly 90% of the toys sold in the United States. As consumers enjoy low prices that globalization makes possible, however, others worry about the workers who have lost their jobs to people overseas, or about the low pay and the lack of pollution and safety regulations in some of the new manufacturing areas. So number 15, put a check or an X. Identify the following factors as a negative or positive. Low pay, is that negative or positive? Pollution, negative or positive? Low prices, negative or positive? Consider too the issue of healthcare. For many years, there has been a sharp line between those nations with good healthcare facilities, including trained doctors and modern equipment, such as Sweden, and those without. A Swede born today can expect to live at least 80 years, while a resident of the African nation of Chad has a life expectancy of only 47. Warfare and unrest in Chad may be to blame, in part, but primarily is it a matter of nutrition and healthcare. One of the most encouraging aspects of globalization is the ease and speed at which richer nations can come to the aid of poorer ones. The World Food Program, part of the United Nations, for example, uses satellite photography to monitor drought conditions and population movements in Chad's vast and roadless countryside, satellite telephones and email to communicate with aid workers on the ground, and huge cargo planes to deliver tons of food. Another branch of the UN, the World Health Organization, uses the same tools to respond quickly to the outbreaks of disease. But technology is not a cure-all. Indeed, it can sometimes make bad situations worse. The worldwide popularity of air travel, for example, is an important factor in the spread of infectious diseases such as flu. Globalization means, above all, that a single event, whether it's an outbreak of a new disease or a new medical breakthrough, now has the potential to affect everyone around the world almost immediately. We live in exciting and changing times. Number 16, identify the following factors as negative or positive: access to good health care, access to foreign aid, and the spread of disease. Congratulations, you finished the test. Good job.